It's a black. There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 19, Week 6. Today, I'm all alone. I was going to get somebody to record this with yesterday, but then my internet was out all day yesterday, which was also my birthday, so happy fucking birthday to me. Today, we're taking a look at Razzle Dazzle, the BlueJay team, taking on the Dusty the Clown Show, the Luth team. And, yeah, stated with me here is absolutely nobody. Looks like Luth might have a stand-in. I think, I know that's Dusty, but I don't think... Well, it might be Maniac, I guess. Guy has weird names, who knows? The BlueJay team has all the regs. Luth, or presumably Dusty, I don't know who's really calling the shots in draft, but must have read those patch notes. Immediately got rid of that Jakiro, and probably rightfully so. I feel like it's just a very, very strong support. One, you can't underestimate this patch for sure. I think you can underestimate that guy a little though, maybe.
10 seconds remaining.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, BlueJay, to an extent, going after meta, getting rid of the DK, who is still there. Vern ban. Very sad. Going after the DK that's, still there, still in this patch, for sure. Going after the Zeus for, I'm not really quite sure why. Maybe Gundam's been spamming it in pubs, I don't know. It's not a hero I very heavily associate with him, though, that's for sure. And getting rid of the Abaddon, that's so 2 meta picks and Zeus for some reason. 2 meta bans, I guess. And they're gonna first phase the Axe, and I think this might be the wrong guy this might be the wrong team to try and run that particular play. I am not very confident that you're going to get an Axe game with this particular lineup. Luth plays too many heroes that make it unplayable, and I think Gundam as well has a lot of tricks up his sleeve that can make it pretty bad. Yep. We're just gonna pull out the Lifestealer right in response, and while, yeah, on one hand, the Axe call does go through the Lifestealer Q, if Lifestealer is using Q and you call him, he's just going to kick your ass and you're gonna lose the fight and die. Especially considering right now you're really based on your Paddle Hunger build. That might have been nerfed in the last patch. I guess I'm gonna have to see that in this game, because I didn't really thoroughly examine that particular element of it, but... Yeah, you'll just not have any air damage and he'll just beat your ass, so kind of awkward. It's like the one time where it's like you have the BKB piercing stun on Axe. It doesn't really matter at all. It's kind of unfortunate.
5 seconds remaining.
I do believe Lifestealer was nerfed in the last patch, so, Yeah, he was. Now, like, your creeps automatically explode if you stay in them for too long, which is kind of funny. Which I guess makes sense. I guess that's fair. I don't know how... I guess I'll have to see it here first, how tangible that actually changes the hero, because it's not like... When you're infesting in creeps, it's not like you usually tend to stay in there for, several hours at a time. You just use it to escape, or you use it to get, like, a quick, heal back in the middle of something. No Tidehunter. Still pretty good this patch. Was kind of surprisingly good. It felt like he didn't really fit the meta all that well last patch, but was still kind of just good just because he was just so numbers good. We'll be seeing him this time. No Invoker. Got a very comprehensive rework. I really do not envy all the poor Invoker players who have to learn that guy again now. It does seem to me that the rework is probably pretty decently strong if you know what you're doing, but you're gonna have to do your damn homework again, so... No Huskar, by the way.
Radiant team pick.
Windranger at your service.
Okay, that's a pretty poor hero in Axe. Very interesting to pick that up this fast. I did notice, the run-up to this series, Whimsical Dragon has been running that, so it's more likely to be Whimsical Dragon, more likely to be a support Windrunner than a core one.
seconds remaining.
So in that capacity, it's like if she's bad and acts, like who cares? If it's a core, I don't really like the starting situation here where you have a blade mail builder with a BKB piercing stun that makes you look at him for a minute. But what can you do? If it's a support again, whatever, who cares?
Radiant team pick.
Bringing Bane out of the mothballs here. That's just a comfort hero for Brion. Fairly good specifically for the Lifestealer, I would say. But it's kind of a whatever hero otherwise.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It does kind of suck to be a pause 1 and you're answered by their pause 5. That's in such a capacity, there's not really much you can do about it to boot. Like you pretty much just need a Linken's here, and you need to not get it popped before the Bane ult happens. That's like your option. And since he has 2 things that can pop Linken's, good luck. I guess maybe the better option is you need Lotus Orb on somebody who's not you. And even that will only work to a certain degree, because eventually, like, when you get that weird, like, split, I've noticed the Lotus doesn't seem to really work with that. It just keeps going anyway.
Radiant team picked.
When you get the split version of the ability where you have, like, the Bane clones. Skywrath Mage and Night Stalker, they really don't care about that CC on this team, that much is certain. You've so far got 1 stun, it's pretty bad. Compared to a BKB piercing stun, the Bane ult, which is a, commitment, but it is a huge CC. You've got the Bane Nightmare, which you can't attack into unless you're Bane himself, but that's CC. You've got the Hoodwink Bushwhack. And he got a Razor on top of all that. I'm not really sure Razor's any better this patch than he was last patch, but I guess we'll see. I think the Razor might have been a little too laser focus here. It's very good against the Lifestealer, but I can definitely see this guy struggling against the rest of this lineup. Especially if you get like a good, reliable stun type hero as your last on the Dusty the Clown Show lineup, then, even worse. But even without it, I think, quite liable. Like, any time in those early fights that you get put in the Winter Shackle shot, you're dead. Like, every single time that happens, you're gonna die. You're just gonna have the Skywrath Mage crap dumped on top of your head. You're gonna have the slows. While they don't have much to say in terms of stun, they sure have a lot of slows. You got open wounds, you got the Skywrath W, you've got the Night Stalker Void.
Dire team back.
No Storm Spirit. That's a good idea. I think that would be one of the nastier things to pop up here. Would have needed an anti-mage ban, but I think if you got rid of that, and maybe like the spec as well, I think you could pick that for sure.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So, Dusty the Clown Show needs themselves a mid, and they really ideally want to get a mid that's going to have at least something to say in terms of stun. Because they don't really have that right now. Even if it's something crappy, like the Astral Imprisonment, which that's not really a stun. That's not really what you want. It's not a great OD game anyway, in the interest of fairness. Outside of being able to save people in call if you're not, the guy getting called. Or, the Bane ult, ditto. It's just a lot of things that the OD hates to see. Still doesn't like that Razor. That was like the big counter all the way back in TI3, and it's still bad for OD now,
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds
Viper ban, Sniper ban. They're banning the ER heroes here. Interesting that they seem to be assuming that it's going to be Razor P1 on the Dusty the Clown Show, which is a non-zero possibility, but I don't know why you would be assuming either way right now. No Void Spirit either. I think that is basically as likely to be Kitty Razor as it is to be BlueJay Razor, frankly.
5 seconds remaining. Pick.
Nope, they were actually right. It was BlueJay on the Razor. Okay, well that is really bad. I hate that then. You're gonna bring in Dawnbreaker. Okay. It's gonna be Dawnbreaker mid here versus the Ember Spirit. Matchup we've seen before in LD2L, a little rough for the Ember. Interesting pick for Gundam. I've noticed he started to like run these weird P3 mids recently in various other games. Like I saw some other League game where he was playing the Axe mid, for example. This would be another example of that. I guess it's in some ways what they want. You know, I did say you needed CC, but you need more reliable CC than like, oh, you throw down the hammer at the end of a long sequence, or then you need a whole ult with like a whole process to get there, right? It's not completely unworkable. It is some CC in some capacity, but if you're gonna run like a wacky P3 mid here, right? You know, I think it would have been preferable to see something like the Slardar, something like the Tiny would have been good. It's not really a P3 per se, but you know, something in that capacity I think works better than the Dawnbreaker there. I guess if nothing else, it does give you some save ability, which this team does kind of lack, but I don't know how much you need it. You have a lot of really good disengage. You have the Y-Stealer disengage, you have the Infest, you have the Windrun, you have the Skywrath Mage has the ability to just throw spells at you as he leaves, and you know, you're not really going to be able to catch Darkstalker, Night Stalker all that well during most of the game. So I don't know if the save was really all that necessary. Maybe it's just they want more damage. I don't know. I think GLHF to everyone except Kitty parentheses. I think you needed more CC there. Damn. It's getting nasty here. Oh, I know the desert didn't roll, so you can see that now. I guess yeah, I don't know why. I'll side with Dusty there. I don't know if it's like a salty thing that the Abaddon got banned. I think you just kind of expect that, if I'm being honest with you. It's like still basically almost as good as the last match. It just won't die for whatever reason. It just will not die. I think what it really is that the hero just added space has. I think it was just underestimated for many years. I think it was just, you know, one of those situations. Even the pros just kind of said, it's a noob hero. You know, it's never going to amount to anything. It's never good, right? Baden's not good. That's just for, you know, uncoordinated pubby games or whatever. You know, where's your blink stun, bro? And it's not really. Oh, shouts to that. It's not really like that. Oh, nice, for my friend Scam Likely, no less. So, with that being said, it is now time for everyone's favorite part of the cast, the roll call. On Razzle Dazzle, pause 1, captain of the team, you've got BlueJay on the Razor. Pause 2, you've got Kitty on the Ember Spirit. Pause 3, you've got Lad of Lads on the Axe. Pause 4, you've got Dark Ace on the Hoodwing. I don't think we've really seen that much. And pause 5, we've got Brion on the Bane. On the other side of the coin, on the Dusty the Clown show, pause 1, we've got Luth on the Luth Stealer. Pause 2, we've got Lumix slash Gundam on the Dawnbreaker. Pause 3, we've got Dusty on the Night Stalker, namesake of the team, but not the captain. Pause 4, we've got Maniac on the Skywrath Mage, who doesn't have the Skywrath spammer tag anymore because, I guess, because Kingfisher uses that on Twitch now. And pause 5, you've got Whimsical Dragon on the Windrunner. Just as I predicted, actually. I'm so good. Kind of two oddball teams in the end. Both teams have like some kind of obvious issues. This Razor guy, I mean, you know, maybe there's been some really cool, awesome buff to him in this last patch that I just didn't see with the way his stats work, but is really not much of a damage guy as a P1. It's going to be really almost Kitty as the P1 in this game, I think. I would say, honestly, I think the Ember really outscales the Razor here. And the Axe just, you know, he's a little left out this game, right? There's not really a good blink call target that you're likely to get outside of just the Skywrath, right? You know, you're not gonna beat the Lifestealer. You're not gonna call the Night Stalker, not normal play anyway, and not unless he messed up. You're not gonna get the Windrunner, right? Not usually. So what are you gonna do? Gonna get beat up by the Night Stalker here while you're going for the rune. And then you're going to show everybody your cheese. Dark Ace might die here in the Lotus Pit. Yep, first blood. Trying to contest Lotus here. Luth doesn't really want to get any more of this, and so just backs out of the pit. I guess he's fine with the first blood. I don't know if he really should have been fine with the first blood. I think maybe the play there, since you have your feast, well, not your feast, you have your feast anyway. I think maybe you just rather maybe eat a tango, try to go back in there, at least see if you can get him to leave without just letting him take the Lotus for free. I don't know. Oh look, Brion is pulling. You don't see that much this season. I think just ironically, just because it's like kind of almost rare that it's beneficial for you to do that as either of these lanes right now. The creep momentum just doesn't tend to bunch up at your towers like it used to, and while that's happening, the Night Stalker just runs over the Razor and then says and tips him. That's kind of the thing, I think. I think that's kind of why you don't see it as much in these in this particular season, is that it's also a very bad season to, you know, split your lanes up. I think if it gets caught, if people realize you're doing that and just run over your P1, it's usually pretty easy to get away with that. Tips flying everywhere here in this safe lane. Lifestealer getting bushwhacked, getting hit with a battle hunger, but a very quick shackle shot intervenes and puts a stop to that in quick order. Pretty poor lane for Axe as well, because Axe likes to do sort of, it's kind of like a bad lane against Bloodseeker often tends to be. Axe likes to do these long campaigns of DOT, likes to gradually wear you down before going in for the kill. But the problem is when you're Lifestealer, you just heal yourself by whacking creeps. Of course, you don't heal yourself much if you just walk to the camp, hit it once, and then walk away over and over, so I'm not really sure what this is about. It's like he's trying to stack at every single moment of the day. Ember Spirit ahead at mid, which probably shouldn't be that surprising, you know, laning against a Dawnbreaker here, right? Not ahead by that much, though, notably. He is going to leave the Remnant TP home. Just to get a quick, I like that. Gundam using the time that Ember was gone to just quickly get that ward there. Dusty is caught all by his lonesome here at bot. They reacted just the exact same way that Dusty did earlier. They knew Maniac was gone, went out mid to secure the rune, and when he was gone, just ran him over. So that kind of firmly puts it back into the favor of the Razor here, who should be able to catch up, or at least would hypothetically have been able to catch up on his deficit of last hits here, had the lane been a little more friendly to him, but the Dire did not have anybody home. No creeps home at the moment, so he doesn't actually get to get any more last hits than what he had. What do you mean Lumix killed Laddle? Let's see this happening. Yep. Just goes on the Life Stealer here, the Dawnbreaker falls in from heaven and just gets rid of him. Okay, I don't think I even needed to rewind for that. The thing I was starting to say earlier is, this is like, it's just a bad lane conceptually for Axe. This is not going to make it any better. I think when you're facing off against the Life Stealer, I think the Bracer can be a bit of a trap. I think if you're Axe and you're facing off against the Life Stealer, what you would rather have instead is probably a Chainmail. Early Chainmail, which goes into your phase boots, and if the Chainmail ain't doing it for you, then go for more regen, don't go for the Bracer, I would say. It's generally the better way of going about things. Just a kill at bot during that little brouhaha there, just Brion going to the back line trying to get the Wisdom Rune here. Actually did get it too. So at least there's that. They're playing pretty passively here, which is interesting. I thought they would, with Brion dead, without much investment, they would start running at that Razor pretty quick, but no, they did not. They did not want to risk it. I guess maybe they were thinking the Ember Spirit could be in their lane soon there. Oh, sad. Gundam lost the right-click contest on the rune. The Ember Spirit got the shield rune there, even though he was just sitting on it for like an entire minute. So that's pretty bad. He's actually going to use this shield rune to start running top. Remains to be seen whether that's going to mean anything here. What happened here? Oh, Maniac just tried to contest the pull here and it didn't work. Or tried to start a pull here, got caught and it didn't work. But either way, yep. Lots of funny shenanigans with pulling in this bot lane. It's just pretty much all going wrong. Like, anytime somebody tries to pull creeps in this bot lane, somebody dies, or it just ends up losing more last hits and gaining. They're dropping. They see the Ember Spirit here. This is a big kill. They can get it, but it's so rough. They're all just tied up. They're all just CC'd out under there. Oh, they did get it after all, but it did come at the cost of Life Steal, which was probably not necessarily worth it unless they also get the axe and don't drop anybody for it. Dusty says, "Aw," then hits a range creep to get rid of that battle hunger. 2-for-1 trade there, dropping the axe and the Ember Spirit for the Life Stealer. If they had gotten away with that without the Life Stealer, it would have been a huge moment for the Dusty the Clown show lineup. I guess they lost the Skyrath as well. That was a little bit before those proceedings, though. 1,050 gold changes hands in their favor, 600 in the Radiance pocket, so not much of a gold change, really. Just a 400 swing for the Dire there, for the Dusty the Clown show. A bit of a momentum stall for the Ember Spirit, but I don't think necessarily the end yet. Dawnbreaker in kind of a bad spot here. Maybe the ideal play for the Dawnbreaker would be at this point to just TP home and rip to the funny squirrel. Maybe the play would be to just TP home and try to ult back in at this point. I don't know. It's certainly not like there's not going to be a good time to do that. Ember Spirit running as fast as humanly possible with this haste rune here, going for this Night Stalker. Likely to get him? Nobody's coming. I turned the wrong way. Getting a little flummoxed in the woods here. Dusty says, "Aw." He's not actually out of the woods yet, though. Here comes a Skywrath Mage. Okay, here's the Dawnbreaker ult, and Ember Spirit gets silenced right on top of it by the Night Stalker and dies. That's very nice play there. Gets a question mark in chat. Windrunner bravely takes the Nightmare off of Dawnbreaker's head, but doesn't actually matter at all. Doesn't do anything. Razor gets left alone here to beat down this T1 here, but good time to check the net worth, and he's actually at the top of the net worth charts right now, which is pretty good. He, funnily enough, he did not opt to go for a Falcon Blade here for once, which is a little bit rare to see on these Razors. Usually they get that to steroid their early game, but he's not looking at the early game, which, I don't know, I think that might be a mistake. I think he really probably want to get that Razor out as fast as possible here. If he gets that Manta in, like, 5 minutes or something, then, that's a different story, but everybody was ignoring him for a while, but if they stop ignoring him now, it's going to be pretty rough. I think the momentum is more in the Dire team's advantage. The net worth differential isn't much, but the problem is these heroes do a lot with less money, while the Radiant heroes definitely need more to go. Like, the Axe doesn't even have a single part of his blade mail done yet. He's not even in the same zip code as a Blank Dagger, right? The Ember Spirit, is doing good, is 4th place overall, not far below the, far below the Dire counterpart, but above most of what the Radiants got to offer, above most of what the Dire's got to offer, doing better than the Lifestealer, on par with the Night Stalker, but the problem is, that 5.6k means a lot more on the Dawnbreaker than the, 4.6 on the Ember Spirit, right? Like, even if it was parity, that would be advantage Dawnbreaker right now, let alone, 1,000 gold differential. Not like it's going to matter if Dawnbreaker's current plan is to stand behind tower with Invis, waiting for an attack that'll never come as Kitty's rotating bot. Just, they saw the vision there and just immediately broke it, and now the Dire is taking this opportunity to run away. It's a little interesting. I think they may be overestimating the amount of people who are actually in the lane up here. Gonna catch the funny squirrel, but without the shackle shot. It's a little unlikely that they're actually gonna get her here. They have to pop the Windrunner ult to get the job done overall. They're going to jump on the Windrunner here. Dawnbreaker ult coming in. The Lifestealer likes what he sees for a second, but the Razor's now here, so suddenly not so much anymore. They get the Axe, but they drop the Razor to do so. By the way, Ember Spear just died somewhere else due to, I'm assuming, Night Stalker related shenanigans. It's a 3-for-1 trade, at least thus far, but not getting the Razor's like a big, sad moment for them, I think. Especially considering they lost to Dawnbreaker, their top net worth guy, to do it. Still, they walk away with 1,646 gold, 396 for the other team. So it is getting them some money, but they're gonna want to put put the boots to that Razor soon. I think he's getting really close to that Manta style, and the not going for something to help you fight early game is not going to matter much if it's still the early game and he has a much better item with which to fight you, because you didn't kill him even in, you killed him a single time, but just very early in the game. And since then, he has just been completely free farming.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Radiant's mid T1 just died of creeps. Rest in peace. Didn't get a little alert on the side for that. That's weird. Everybody's got brawny stuff. I hate it when you show up to lane and everyone's wearing their brawniest outfits. Just very awkward. Yeah, Razor is just 600 gold away from Manta. Nobody cares. They have the Dawnbreaker map hacks, but again, nobody really seems to care that much. Dawnbreaker trying to get back the momentum she lost from the death by doing this stacked up Ancient camp here. Everybody is taking a long breather. Neither side really wants to fight right now. Weirdly enough, they're gathering around Tormentor here on the Dire. I don't really think they can do that. I think that's a very tough objective to do without just losing 5 people right now. But hey, not 5 people necessarily. The Life Stealer's definitely gonna live. Yeah, Riptomaniac. It's getting interceded. The Razor's here. They've caught it out. And they lose the Life Stealer too. Yeah, this is like a bad objective right now. There's no two ways about it, I think. It is just way too hard to do the Tormentor. You just can't do it. I think we're going to have to wait for next patch for when this objective's damage output gets nerfed before that's like a viable thing to do. 3 for 0 drop there. 2,302 gold passes into the Dire's net worth chest there. That's going to give Razor his Manta style for sure. The Mage Slayer now finished on the Ember Spirit, calling in a TP scroll. Mage Slayer finished on the Ember Spirit as well. I believe that was before that fight, though. Let's finish the X Blade Mill, got him halfway to the Blink Dagger. It's actually a big gold swing for him. The only thing they got there is they just got their stupid shard, and who'd they even get it on? They got the Windrunner shard, which, hey, I mean, that's a good shard, but probably wasn't worth 3 people, you know. So yeah, the lesson of the day is don't do that stupid Tormentor. It is like, unless you have a team that's very well equipped for doing it, it is just not worth your time. Not unless, like, there is literally no chance something goes wrong doing it, basically. And that's a tough call for an objective where it is right now. Once again, all momentum crawled to a halt here. I can see why nobody was requesting replays this week if all the replays are like this. This is just type Dota, to be honest with you. Everybody is just sitting back and farming, and there are no plays being made across the entire map. Both sides seem to believe they have the long-term advantage. It's a little hard to determine who actually does have it here. I think they're pretty much parity late game, honestly. I don't think these two teams are really appreciably stronger than each other at any point, with the exception of if Axe just gets a bunch of Culling Blades or something. You know, that's the case at that point, but like, does Razor outscale the Life Stealer? No. I would definitely say the Life Stealer's going to outscale the Razor, but I would also say the Ember Spirit's definitely going to outscale the Dawnbreaker to a basically equal degree. Axe and Night Stalker are going to scale basically as well as each other. Slight preference for Night Stalker if he doesn't get, or if Axe doesn't get the Culling Blades that he'd really like at this point. The Windrunner and Hoodwink are going to basically equally scale. The Bane and the Skywrath are going to basically equally not scale, right? I think these are pretty much parity teams at any point in the game. So it is interesting to see the Luth team playing this out like they think they're this like late game powerhouse. I don't really agree with that assessment. We got the Rod of Atos revealed here on the Funny Squirrel. They're dropping a lot on her. I don't think this is worth it. They did get the Funny Squirrel, but what was it? What was it worth losing your Life Stealer in like a second and a half for it? Was it worth getting the Razor in the middle of the fight to die? They actually got him there. Okay, something. 2 for 2 trades so far. Nightmare accidentally going out on the Axe. Here's the annoying Windrunner shard, so I guess maybe that Tormentor was worth it. There's definitely that was definitely just an excessively greedy play on the part of the Dusty the Clown show. That 2 for 2 trade wasn't worth it in either sense. I mean, they didn't make as much money as the Radiant got, and worse yet, it pretty much all went to the Skywrath. And also, the what you lost in the trade, I think, like tangibly, just much more, just losing more time alive on the Lie Stealer, and the Night Stalker is worth a lot more than that Hoodwink for sure, and it's arguable on Razor, but he's not this team's real carry anyway. The good news is, if nothing else, at least the for the Dusty the Clown show, at the very least, the real carry on this team still last in the net worth. Getting that BKB soon, though. Which is a really big BKB game. It's like, this guy doesn't do anything to you with BKB, this guy doesn't do anything to you with BKB, this guy doesn't do anything to you with or without it, and this guy doesn't do that much to you with BKB. Unless he gets a really lucky use of the Solar Guardian, I think that's it. It's going to be one stun that goes through that BKB, that's it. It's definitely a team that feels like really needs to get this Ember Spirit stunned out, so I think that's going to be a big power spike on that BKB when that's finished. Razor going for one as well. I'm not going to see the situation, especially if he dies here. He's not going to, he just Manta Styles walk away. Or maybe he doesn't. The Windrunner passive is causing some problems for him here, and he's actually going to take another dive. Night Stalker still hungry for more, but his team wants nothing to do with this nonsense. They're going to get the Bane at the back of the fight here in exchange for the Skywrath. And the, oh my god, I was going to say, and the Axe, but the lost, okay, never mind, it's totally fine now. Dusty was able to live through that fight. We actually see the last kill here. 5 for 2 there. Dusty says, ah, in all chat. That looked like it was about to turn super bad for the Dire, but all they lost was just the Dawnbreaker. Everyone else got away with it. 2,998 gold, just basically 3k net worth swing here. Just shy of it. Over when you count the creeps are going to bash afterwards, so how about that 3k gold swing for the Dire, mostly going into Night Stalker's pockets. I think that fight is awesome if the Ember BKB is up by the time it starts, but it's just barely not out yet, so no dice. So look, Whimsical Dragon also has the Okami Courier. This is a big Okami Courier party. You've got that one, you've got the two on the Radiant here. It's a big day for Amara. You know that guy. Oh no, this sucks. Poor Brion. Oh, just to make it even worse! Wow, that was unnecessary. Night Stalker just using the blink to get right on top of the head of the poor Bane, and then the Windrunner shard just to add insult to injury, so hey. You know, maybe they've gotten more value out of the Windrunner shard than they did by losing those 3 guys. Now you might ask yourself, couldn't the Windrunner have just bought shard? The answer to that is also yes, but you know how it goes. 6 charges on the Dawnbreaker Desolator. Just starting to build a little bit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Windrunner just going to go down to the sidelines here, just knock over some towers. I think it's a good play for the Windrunner in a game that looks like this. Like when your team doesn't want to fight, and their team doesn't want to fight, what do? You do this. Find a lane nobody wants to go to, knock it down, get out of there. And hey, I just noticed Whimsical Dragon not using the fan service cosmetic, so hey, there's that. Good job, Whimsical Dragon. People aren't going to give you weird looks. Okay, maybe Lanolaz is about to give you a weird look. He had had smoke on, it just popped.
Every coin helps.
Actually turned around, they did not know what they were walking into there. There's a smoke on the other side of the affair here. They're going to find the Razor with a Night Stalker. They don't get that much okay, I was about to say they don't get that much out of it as he's able to just mantle run away, but isn't quite able to get out, just barely shy of it. If anything, that's making me really worried about what happens in the world when this BKB gets finished, because if they can't kill him in that much time, if he's got that much ability to just run away unimpeded and the situation looks like that, imagine the reality he's going to be living in when he finishes that thing. It's going to be rough. This is not Lifestealer. This is still not Lifestealer. Why are the click boxes on those things so huge? Okay, there we go. Lifestealer pretty much is still sitting at status quo. Is his courier? No, it's just returning to base right now. Just got S&Y and Radiance. Last time he just had Radiance. It's not much of a change here. Yet. We have the Blink and Blade Mail both out on the axe now. He also has his Shard. So he's going to start getting a little nasty. Yeah, they did not nerf that. They nerfed his E. That's all they did, which is like not really how he even does damage. That's like the smoke screen on Axe. It's like people think Axe does that, but he doesn't really do that anymore. Now Radiant is looking for their turn on the Tormentor, because it went really well when the Dire did it. Unlike the Dire, they're going to be coming in smoked. And there is no vision here on the part of the Dire. They don't really have any idea that it's happening. Yeah, Radiant scanned the totally wrong area, in fact. Target's kind of unknowingly, I think, stalking the Dawnbreaker there, but... So long to die. With the axe combo, though, they can... With the axe combo, they can get it down pretty decent time. And get the free Brain Sap Shard for Bane. Which is pretty nice. Helps deal with the number 1 item to mess with them here. Luth going straight for the eggs. Does not care about that old baby. He's just like, I just infesting it out. Which I think is a little tough. I mean, we don't really have... These guys are not building the Lotus on anybody on this team. And I think you're really going to need that sooner than later on the Lifestealer. Every moment you don't have it, you're kind of inviting the disaster a little bit. Luth team just trying to avoid taking fights here till nighttime. But I guess they smell an opportunity here. Or maybe they're just getting bored hitting creeps in mid, I don't know. I don't think this is the opportunity they believe it to be. They're running the wrong way anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. They're just going to seize the wisdom here. Hooray! And then they're going to turn around and try and come in from the flank. This time they're kind of running this way. Maniac spots everybody. Gets the Rod of Atos out on the Bane, who's just going to get... Well, they're going to attempt to pummel the Bane, but the Night Stalkers has to run away. We have the 9-second BKB out on the Razor. He's mostly using it to just escape at this point. Bane does a complete desperation play on the Bane. Well, I don't even know who he ulted it. It was for an 1/8 of a second, so who cares? Good try, little bro. 3-for-1 trade there. Oh, maybe 4-for-1 there. Still looking at this funny little squirrel. And yeah, that thing is dead. 4-for-1 trade there. They only dropped the Windrunner. That was the 9-second BKB on Razor, and he basically just popped it to run away, so that super sucks. Ember Spirit basically not in that fight, only showed up at the very end of that affair. 2,485 gold passes the Dire's War Chest. The gold differential is getting pretty big at this point, and funnily enough, a lot of it is just because the Dire supports are super rich. The Windrunner is about 2.5k up from the Hoodwink, the Skywrath, about 2k up from the Bane. So it's about a 10k net worth differential on the cores and about a 5k net worth differential on the supports. Just shy of it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
BKB out rather soon for the Night Stalker. I don't think it's going to be quite as big. No, it's actually not going to do much against this lineup at all, is it? Nothing doesn't go through BKB. The Razor W goes through it, the Axe Call goes through it, the Bane ult goes through it. I think even this goes through it, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. So there's not really a lot that gets blocked by BKB that you really care about, and like, it stops the Bane Nightmare, and it stops the Razor Hula Hoop. It takes down Axe's damage. A lot of Axe's damage is magical. Takes down a lot of Ember's damage, and it gets rid of the Searing Chains. That's pretty much all it does. Yeah, they're gonna walk on they're gonna smoke and walk on the Dawnbreaker here. Just found Dawn in one of these off lanes. And she's gonna go down really quick. Just completely consumed there. The Dire's gonna run in for the counterattack. Going to just immediately drop the Bane. Razor's 8-second BKB is out, but again, he's just kind of using BKB and then running away. It's already out. He's going to get a kill on the Skywrath Mage here. I'm not really even sure how the Dark Ace Hoodwink just died, but overall, well, I was about to say 2 for 3. Night Stalker wants to keep going. There's nothing to do here. 2 for 3. It's not showing Gundam's death on this report, so I'm guessing it's probably pretty close to an equal trade, maybe just barely favoring the Dire here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Kind of an awkward fight. The Razor BKB has not been the power spike that I thought it's been, and it's not been due to he hasn't even really got to use it yet. He has not been in a point so far where he's been able to hit that BKB and actually do something aggressive with it. It's just been hit BKB, run home. It's just a map control deficit, I think. He's just never the one starting fights, you know? Even in that last fight, he got 1 kill, but it happened entirely after the BKB was over, after he'd already retreated. Dusty the Clown Show looking at Roche now. This should be a pretty easy Roche. They got a good team to do. Lifestealer, do this to him. Lifestealer, I'm begging you. There we go. That is like one of the best Roche skills in the game. It was also that when it was, you know, a shard, but hey. What are you gonna do? It's one of your best anti-Roche skills, so please make good use of it. The Radiant's gathering around here. They are going to drop the Hoodwink immediately. Dusty's trying to finish out the Roche attempt here. Axe is going to get run over. Okay, so they really don't have any ability to actually stop the Roche attempt anymore. Ember Spirit is looking to steal. Throws in the Remnant, uses chains to find nobody, and Luth takes the Aegis. Oh no, Windrunner was scouting ahead, found the Razor in the back line. He's gonna die completely. I was gonna say he's gonna lose most of his HP before he gets to BKB. He doesn't even get to do that. And then they're going to kill Bane for the crime of trying to get involved. Uh-oh. Yeah, this Razor is not panning out for them thus far. It feels like the peak time for Razor has already kind of elapsed, and he really wasn't able to do like anything in that time. He got that Manta style really quickly. He got the BKB with really good timing, so I was really worried for a second there. But since then, it's like the team hasn't even been like, the team has just collapsed so hard around him. There's no front line anymore. Besides him, and he can't do it alone, you know? Yeah, is pretty much falling off the face of the planet here. He's going for a BKB of his own, which, hey, is pretty good, but it's not going to... It's going to help him not die for slightly longer. It's not going to help him kill anybody. One of those type games. The Lifestealer Ag's finished. Queuing up Assault Kuros next. Got the BKB on Night Stalker. That's fresh. 9 seconds on that. As much as that's going to matter anyway. And Skull Basher coming out soon. Windrunner is queuing an MKB. Has the first part already. Basically, it's just another core for them at this juncture. She's about on parity with all the Radiant scores, so why not, right? Ember Spirit got an Ags. I guess just to try and justify the purchase of the BKB on the Night Stalker. I don't know. I question the efficacy of doing the magic damage Ember Spirit build on a team against a Lifestealer, I must tell you. They dropped the whole world on Razor, but he just BKBs, walks away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That was a pretty good situation for the Razor in that he just got to them to waste a whole bunch of crap, but they're not going away. Well, it wasn't enough crap that they, well, most of them want to turn around. Okay, that's just the Gundam, but just the Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker could be wherever she wants. 3 minutes till nighttime. We do have the SV ability action. Or active. And it's actually going to go here. He's going to see the Hoodwink, going to start running for it immediately, but might not have been the play. He's now surrounded. The Dawnbreaker jumping in kind of flummoxed them a little bit. They started panicking. They broke it up, but I think if they just stayed ulting, they just committed to it, they actually should get that kill there. So that's kind of awkward. You have Axe buyback. They're going to kill the Dawn here. Ember Spirit is going to just get a quick pick. BKB's out on the Ember Spirit. It's now done. Axe gets a big double call here. Gets the Windrunner. 3 for 0 trade there. 4,334 gold passes into the Radiant's hands. Still less than that since the Axe spot back, but still a big turnaround play there. Just showing, I guess, that they can't just freely jump in under T4s like that. Could have been worse too. I think if they had just kept the Banal going on the Night Stalker, they hadn't broke it the moment that the Dawnbreaker started jumping in. I think that's even worse. So I think that gets a kill on them. You guys are Vampiric Mindbreaker now. This Aegis is about to expire at kind of an awkward time because everyone's running at the Lifestealer right now. Does the Night Stalker have TP? Yes. He's got a minute to run away before night strikes. Oh man, this is crazy talk. They're not going to jump on them. I guess they are. Oh, they just barely get the Razor at the last second of the Dawnbreaker. Very good timing there. Axe takes a spill himself. They've turned that around pretty good fashion. Dark Ace is going to try and get away. The first hit bash is going to prevent that, and now Night Stalker's taking a trip. 3 for 0 trade there. Not quite what they lost on the last fight, but still pretty good for the Dire there. And just gives them another shot, especially considering that they know the Axe doesn't have buyback. Another shot at these buildings down here, which they're gonna get. They're gonna finish the job here at bot. Well, they're gonna mostly finish it. There we go.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
T3 mid, just gonna follow as well. They got a lot of time here. They got a pretty meaty team for bashing buildings. Nobody's hitting that glyph that you get for free whenever you lose a melee, Rax. Nobody is hitting that glyph that you get for free when somebody kills your melee, Rax, guys. Really annoying use of this Windrunner ult or Windrunner shard to get the Hoodwink deep into the action here. Razor only steals 68 damage off of the Lifestealer there, and he's not even going to make it back home. The BKB out on the Ember Spirit is dead. That's a 5 for nothing trade. It's over. I am anxiously awaiting the chat at the end of this game. No, We're just going to call the G's, go home.
Dire victory.
Awkward. Awkward is just the only way I can put it for the BlueJay lineup here. It felt like the Dusty the Clown Show's lineup, even though it's a little unorthodox, it definitely feels like it was premeditated. It feels like they were definitely thinking of running a lineup that looks like this. I mean, I could tell you for a fact that they were thinking of running a lineup that looks like this, because they've been specifically practicing that Whimsical Dragon Windrunner, right? So while it's very weird looking and it still lacks in like actual tangible CC, as a win here, it ended up working fine. They were able to just get enough of an advantage as far as just, getting those early kills, getting that early money, that, what they lacked didn't matter. It didn't matter if they didn't have any stuns. The only person who could even right-click back their base is Razor, and he can only even do that 50% of the time, right? Like, the overall story of the hour here is just, 40-minute game. Didn't feel like it was 40 minutes, really. It felt like it was just kind of like 20 competitive minutes and it was over, right? The Razor won here. It's not really selling me on this Razor concept. It's not really selling me that he's any better this patch than he was the last. It's also part of it, I think, is the Razor came out awkward, though I do think trying to play this like a P1. I mean, that's not what you were this game. If you're BlueJay, you're basically the mid this game. Really, you're really the pause 2. Kitty is the pause 1 here on the Ember Spirit. She has a hero that literally scales better than yours and is probably better tuned to the game, but I felt like Kitty was trying to get involved in a lot of fights early. That didn't really go in her favor, and it felt like the Razor was trying to not get in a lot of fights early, and I felt like that did him a massive disservice. By the time he was actually ready to fight, he had already fell off. Like, he had already been outscaled by the Lifestealer pretty dramatically. I don't know. Either way, we'll see what happens in the next game.